Howdy folks, Doc here with Last Best Tool, and today I've got a response to a comment that was placed in one of my videos, the die grinder video basically, that asked about this vacuum, because in my video where I talked about my 5 most used tools of 2020, I mentioned this vacuum, and the comment, I'll read it to you, or part of it, it says, "Doc, you had me sold on getting an M12 vacuum cleaner, but then I read so many online comments about it not having enough power. Please address that if you have a minute. I guess I'm expecting you to say it's great for what it is." And it's great for what it is was kind of my response or my reaction to the die grinder. It's great for what it is. So if you can work within the limits of that, then of what it does, fine. Not so with the vacuum. This is a good vacuum. This is a solid vacuum, and it does exactly what a vacuum should. And I'm going to go over it to show you. And in fact, I think I know why people complain about it. I've had this, gosh, I don't know, between 5 and 10 years, a long time. Maybe, yeah, I got it shortly after these came out. It's kind of beat up. It's been all over the place. I've given them as gifts because I love them. So it's great for what it is. It's actually better than that. It's a fabulous tool. I love this thing. So first of all, let's take a closer look at it. I also have other vacuums. I mean, here's a larger M18 Milwaukee. I used to have the big box wet dry one, but I ended up not using that. But I do like this one. It's a lot easier to clean or to empty, whereas that big box one wasn't. But of course, it was designed as a wet dry. But I'll use this for a lot of things, and I usually am putting, tool attachments on it so I can stretch it way the heck out. But what I'd like to do is focus more on how great this thing is. So first of all, I've got some sawdust. So this is off my Hitachi compound sliding miter saw. There's a bunch of sawdust. And take my vacuum. You might be thinking, oh, is that, I mean, it should of course pick up sawdust. Well, let's turn up the heat a little bit and add there's some nuts and bolts. Why not some screwdriver bits? Let's go ahead and give this a shot and see. I don't know if they'll fit through there, so I'll pop that off. It's not looking good. But here's why I think people complain. What you've got inside this thing is a filter, and you need to change or maintain the filters. Look at this thing. Here, I'll pop it open. This is the problem. I'm trying to suck up, say, bolts, but look at this filter. This filter, that isn't just the sawdust, it is a mess. If I pop that thing out of there, this filter is totally caked with stuff. In fact, I can clean it out. This is what it should look like. There's a brand new filter. So you can see there's a bit of a difference. I'm just using my Snap-on brass brush. So let's clean this off here really quick. Look at that. I mean, this is probably a year's worth of dust on this thing. And I'm doing a quick job. So now I'll put it back together. This just, here's the end of it. Just slides in. There we go. Throw that on. And to make it even better, I've got a 6 amp hour battery. Let's go ahead and get rid of that and throw 1.5 amp hour battery on this. There we go. Let's give it a shot. we go. Look at that. With the old filter, all I needed to do is give it a little bit of a clean and take all of this out. And it sucks up nuts and bolts with a cheap little battery. So, is that a win? I don't know how it couldn't be. So I think what happens is people end up trying to do way too much with a little guy like this, and they expect it to last forever. Well, just clean the filter. There's not a lot of filter area here. If you compare that to the filter in this, and you know, once you get to the M18 here, pop this off here. Come on, there we go. This is another one that is filthy. See, I'm neglecting these. But here's the M18 filter. So you can see the size difference. The square area, compare it with this. I mean, that's a lot more surface area compared to the diameters. So what you're looking at is something that you have to maintain. It's as simple as that. Now, I do have a complaint about this that I had mentioned, and that has to do with the noise. So let's go ahead and test the noise. And the way I'm going to do that, I'm going to grab a hold of my my noise meter here, and I'll hook that up. Here we go to a to my iPad here. Let me throw something under there. See if I can get the glare out so you can see that. So what I've got is a sound pressure level meter here, and I'll just turn that on so you can see. Hello, testing, testing, 1, 2, 3. So it's picking up my voice down here. I'll turn this on. And I can put this on it, see if that makes it even louder. All right. Let me get a couple of other measurements. Here's the die grinder. Here's a Milwaukee Fuel. And finally, let's go ahead and test. Here's the long neck ratchet. Loudest of all of them. Crazy loud. So, here's what we're working with. This is in decibels, and it looks like the peak was maybe about right in here. And so we were at about a little over about 101 decibels there. 101 there. The die grinder was 93. The drill was 98, and then that crazy ratchet was 103. Now I have gotten this up to close to 100. I think it was 110. Let me kick on a meter here and see. We'll just take a look and just watch this. So you can see 70. Now, if you get into some of the damage that can occur to an ear, it isn't just the absolute volume or the sound pressure. It also has to do with the duration. And if you're using a vacuum, you're probably using it for a long time, where you're not going to be using a ratchet for maybe 15 minutes non-stop. There's going to be breaks, which does make a difference, although this thing's still pretty loud. And the more it gets clogged, the louder it seems to get. So I'm just vacuuming some of that up. See my number? Highest I saw was 108. Get that rat's nest out of there. Anyway, you get the idea. So in answer to foot pusher's question, no, I love this thing. I have no hesitation about it. I think it's a fabulous vacuum. It runs great. I'm still using that little tiny battery. You can see here, it was full when I started, so I've lost, you know, a quarter, one of the lights. But it's great, and I use them hard, and I keep cleaning the filters and use them until they just fall apart, and then I get more. They sell them in 2 packs. I think this was like $9. So you know, $4.50 a piece for another filter to keep you going. And I have beat this thing up. In fact, I accidentally sucked up a bunch of water once, and I had to go inside and clean it out because basically the dust turned to a kind of a rock inside it. No problem. I keep going and going and going. So that is my feelings, my honest feeling and assessment, and hopefully proof of how great a vacuum this actually is. And with that, Doc out.